Hello everyone, welcome to Added Trade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Banknifty levels for 13 July, Wednesday. This is the Banknifty chart that I've opened. Okay, and after yesterday's bullish price action, today we have got a nice red candle. This resistance at this point, it was pointed out in my analysis yesterday. I did show you the divergence that we had in the 1 hour time frame, right? I did mention that we are seeing some bearish divergence. The price is making a higher high and the indicator is making a lower high. We could get a dip, and the dip has come today. Now we'll have to see whether the dip will continue or this is just one small red candle and we can bounce again on the upside. But this particular candlestick pattern, right, it's, if somebody is aware of all the candlestick pattern, this is nothing but this part, these two candles, yesterday and today, okay, is nothing but a bearish harami. Now what is a bearish harami? Is a reversal chart pattern, meaning when the market is going up, once we get this kind of a bearish harami candlestick pattern, there are chances the market can come down a little bit. Right? It's a reversal chart pattern. You can just go type in Google bearish harami, you'll find this enough of patterns and explanation. But this is a bearish harami that is being formed. Now another thing to point in this daily chart is, see, we just didn't get this kind of a bearish harami at some random point, right? There was a good resistance here. That is the level that I'm marking now. Even previously we took resistance here and slipped exactly over there. We have got this bearish candlestick pattern. So we'll have to see if the reversal will come or no. See how yesterday I showed that RSI is above 60 and probably will be a little more bullish, and one day how things changed. I'll be showing you even in the OI data how things changed in a day, and then we'll see the trade possibilities for tomorrow. See, another thing that is pointing out here is the price action is making a lower high, right? This is one high and we came down, went up, so it's making a lower high, but the indicator is doing a higher high. There's a complete video on RSI and divergence in my channel. You can go and have a check on it and learn more. See, just because of we are seeing this divergence, we are not going to short, but our view after this type of a nice long up run, right, our view now can be looking for short trades. Obviously it depends on intraday chart and whatever happens on the intraday, but as of now I'm going with a bearish view because of multiple factors. One is this candlestick pattern, okay, that is bearish harami, only these two, yesterday's and today's. Then this divergence, this kind of a hidden divergence where price is making a lower low, indicator is making a higher high. So that's one thing. Now just because this is there, if there is a good long trade, will I not go long? Yes, I will trade long. We'll be seeing those levels in our 15-minute chart, 15-minute Bank Nifty chart. What are the possible entries and exits we can do, how to trade tomorrow. Before that, there's another thing that I want to add in this is, since I follow a lot of CPR, the monthly, weekly and the daily CPR, in this early time frame, one thing that I wanted to show is the monthly CPR. In a lot of my videos, I keep reiterating that at the monthly CPR, we could take some kind of a reversal, right? See, I've just put only the monthly CPR. The cross lines are the monthly CPR. The red is resistance, black is previous month high, and the same on the downside. Green will be support in all my videos. So exactly over here on the hourly chart on monthly time frame, if you see the monthly CPR, we have taken exact resistance over here at 35,500, and then we have started getting this dip. So we'll have to see whether the dip continues or this is just a short down move and we might even break this again. That is the monthly CPR. But this level we'll have to watch, because if this level breaks, the market can be bullish again and we might hit even 35,900. Now, what are the possible levels that we can trade tomorrow and what are the trade possibilities that happened today? First, we'll see where we could have taken a trade today. See, first of all, we got a gap down. We went up, but see how this using CPR is helpful, right? See, one setup in CPR is, unless the CPR breaks, see, if the CPR breaks on the upside, right, we get an opening at CPR, and if the CPR breaks, the setup state, let me put off the monthly CPR. Yeah, if this is only the daily CPR now that I have enabled. See, if the CPR breaks, there's a possibility we'll hit the previous day high and R1. That is one of the CPR setup, right? But see, it didn't break the CPR, and how this could have prevented us taking this long trade. Obviously, in the first 5 minutes, this is the 5-minute chart of Bank Nifty, today's price action, just seeing where we could have taken an entry. See, we got a good bullish candle, we got a follow-up nice bullish candle, but those who didn't have any knowledge of CPR, right, who don't use CPR, definitely they would have gone long here, thinking we're going to get a breakout. But those who use CPR, see how that would have prevented them from taking an entry. So definitely we wouldn't have entered here. We got this immediate red candle. We would have waited for the price to break the CPR to enter. Anyone who's using CPR, that's one beauty about this. That's why I started using CPR. Then we were sideways. Okay. See, here there was a place where a stop loss would have hit, right, if somebody had traded. See, and the same thing, if CPR breaks on the upper side, we might hit previous day high or R1, and the same thing, if the CPR breaks on the lower side, we might hit S1 and the previous day low. That's also one setup. So, but here is where a stop loss would have hit. Now, say if somebody had shorted here, there was a nice follow up. If you had waited in the trade, but the follow through didn't come, immediately we came back. And why I say a stop loss would have hit is, see, when we enter in this candle, right, your stop loss will be the CPR line itself. We shouldn't take much deeper stop loss. This will be the stop loss, and when this price came back, our stop loss would have hit. But there was again another beautiful entry over here when exactly we came, and see, even when this reversal came in that last 1 hour, say at 2:30, it exactly took resistance at the CPR, top CPR, and started falling, right? But this was easily tradable. How? One is kind of this trend line was broken. The other thing is, see, we made almost like a, see, the price from here, from this level to this level, there was a divergence. That is, see, the price was from this point, the price was making a lower low, and the indicator from this point, RSI, was making a higher high. There was some reverse divergence at this point where we could have taken a shot. And even if you see at this level, right, after getting this type of inverted hammer, where this type of hammers at a good CPR point is very fruitful for entry, and even this kind of this evening star that was formed here, these three candles, there was a nice evening star. A lot of things indicated we are going to slip. The best entry would have been after kind of this trend line broke, or when the CPR broke. There was also one divergence over here, that is, price was making a higher high, and the indicator on the 5-minute chart itself was making a lower low, and then we had a nice dip until S1. I had a view that we might hit even 35,000, but probably we didn't have enough of the trading time. By 3:20, the last we fell is until 35,048. I had a view we might hit this previous day low, but we didn't. Now for tomorrow, so these are the trade possibilities, the trade that could have worked today, the possible entries. Now again, see, I use two charts while trading, right? One is my CPR chart, so just to, because, and the other one is where I have drawn the support and resistance based on the price action. I can have everything on one chart, but it will be too messy. So that's the reason I prefer having two charts. See, yesterday we had these levels marked exactly with, this is the 15-minute chart. What we were seeing here is the 5-minute chart of Bank Nifty. On the 15-minute chart, exactly we took resistance at the same level. So I'm going to move this line a little bit higher. These are all the levels that I had drawn yesterday in my analysis. Yesterday analysis became a little late. I had to post it early in the morning, but I did try to post it. And this support zone that we had drawn yesterday, I did mention that if we break this, we could come and hit probably 35,000. The down move came, but not, we, another 40 points, we would have hit 35,000. So this support zone, I'm going to mark it as a resistance zone. I'm going to make it red, because tomorrow, if we get a gap up, there's high possibility that we might take resistance here and again dip, right? So that's the reason I'm marking this as a resistance zone, and this and rest of the levels will remain the same. If this level breaks, that is 34,985, we could slip further until 34,830. And a good long trade will come only probably if this level breaks. See, twice we have taken resistance today at the same level, that is 35,384. If this level breaks, probably we might see this 35,500 again, and even if that breaks, the next level is 35,750. But based on the overall scenario that I showed in the daily chart, I'll be looking for a short trade. But obviously, if this level breaks, then definitely we might see some short covering and a nice up move. So these are the levels that I have marked for tomorrow, which I'll be using. And just looking at the open interest in Banknifty. See, yesterday, when we were seeing the open interest yesterday, there was a lot of support at 35,000, right? And even 35,000 put, there was a lot of support. See what happened today. The change in OI shows what happened today, right? Most of the 35,000 put exited. Obviously, we had a gap down and we started trading below it. Everyone will exit, and only the call writers came in. Means people have started selling from 35,000, 100, 200, 300, 500. 500 has become a very good resistance now. I don't think taking out 500 would be easy. Still, there is some support at 35,000. The put writers are still there. But if you see the change in OI, a lot of put writers have exited, but the positional put writers are still there. One thing is the call writers have not increased in 35,000. So even breaking 35,000 might not be that easy, but we'll never know tomorrow how it changes. The OI data from yesterday and today, you see the kind of change that we had. Yesterday we had support even at 35,500, and today all of a sudden it's only resistance and support has come to 35,000. Maybe if this breaks tomorrow, all the put writers will shift to 34,500, right? So as of now, the OI data is showing a little bit of bearish scenario with a good support at 35,000. 35,000 needs to break to get a nice short move. Nice short movement like this momentous fall, right, where things can work for an option buying. If on 15 minute, if 35,000 breaks tomorrow, right, there's a good chance we might see 34,800 or even 34,600 is possible. Now just looking at our Nifty, even Nifty had a pretty, see these are the levels that we had for Nifty yesterday. I'm going to put this line here and make this level is a pretty good resistance now. And yesterday I had mentioned about this gap also. The gap boundary can act as a support, or we might fill this gap. It looks like tomorrow we might come to fill this gap, but as of now the resistance zone is over here. This entire zone can act as a good resistance, that is between 16,140 until 16,158. Then above that we have this gap level. Even we need to have the gaps marked. All the gaps I mark it in blue, because during the live market sometimes we keep switching the charts pretty fast, right? We shouldn't get confused. So all these levels that we mark should be clear. So once again we come here, there's a good chance we might take resistance, that is 16,145, and if we start trading below 16,060, right, there's a good chance we might fill this gap at 16,000 and get a small bounce. But if, see, always when there is a gap fill, we will get a small bounce. If the gap fill breaks, right, then definitely the next level is 15,900, and there is one small reaction level over here which might act as a good support. So I'm going to mark it in little lighter purple. That is at 15,956. And let me just save this. And looking at the open interest for Nifty, see the put writers have, some put writers have exited at 16,100. The call writers have come in. There is some support at 16,000, but if you see the change in OI, some call writers also have come in. Not sure if 16,000 will be taken out tomorrow. A good support is at 15,900 and a good resistance is at 16,100. Pretty much what is there on the charts, right? Pretty much what we saw on the charts. A resistance is around 16,140 and a good support is around 16,000 at this gap fill. Maybe if we get a gap up tomorrow and get a nice down move until the 16,000, is a good place to book profit. There can be a small bounce because of the OI data that we are seeing. If you look at the global markets, the US futures were down throughout when we were trading. Right now it has recovered, it is showing plus 50. there is some important inflation data that is coming in tomorrow. So that's another reason a lot of the global markets probably are into a little bit of sell-off mode. So it's too early to look at SGX Nifty. The US market is not yet open. So depending on a gap up or gap down, we have our levels ready in both Nifty and Bank Nifty. The Bank Nifty will be a more fruitful trade if 35,000 breaks. 35,000 meaning this level, right, where it is around exactly 34,090. If this breaks, there's a good chance we might get one 300 or 400 point dip. And if we look at the tomorrow CPR, let's see it on this chart. This is the 5-minute chart. I'm just checking tomorrow CPR. We have a lower ratio, meaning we could have a downward day. It's not as wide as today and not a very narrow CPR as well, but the levels are good, pretty much where we have our support and resistance. See, we have a pretty good support here, what we have marked in our chart, right? So this is S1. If S1 breaks, definitely we can see 34,830. So this one trade, if the S1 breaks and we sit, right, 160 points will give us around, in option, around 70 to 80 points. That is pretty good. And even if this level breaks, then the next level where we might take support is here, 34,600. Not sure if we'll get such a down move tomorrow itself, but that momentous up move is definitely if this region breaks, that is 34,379 breaks, we can see the previous 35,570 again. So that's it for tomorrow. Hope these levels help. Even from Monday, most of the levels have helped us a lot. So let's see how it goes.